We have with us State Senator Dianne Hesselbein, who we want to talk to you about what's going on in Wisconsin. By the way, Senator, I want to tell you, I'm a bit of a geek for Wisconsin. I started a group during the campaign season last year called Fibs for Wisconsin. So we are always engaged and invested in what goes on in Wisconsin. How are you doing today?
Well, I love that. Thanks for Wisconsin. That's fantastic. I'm doing well.
Yeah, I try not to ask everybody that because I mostly ask if you're hydrating. So are you staying hydrated as well? Yeah, stay hydrated.
I am.
Oh, good.
Yes, I am. I am, actually. It's been
Excellent.
a good day for that. A lot of coffee, though, too.
Yeah, no doubt. So there's some crazy stuff going on with the Supreme Court race. We already kind of knew about that. But now there's this story about the fact that women, the Supreme Court of Wisconsin is driven by women who are led by their emotions. Okay, when you see something like that or you hear something like that, it's not unbelievable anymore, really, is it?
No, unfortunately it's not. But Brad Schimmel saying that Judge Jill Karofsky was driven by emotions or, quote, on the brink of losing it, end quote. I watched what he's talking about. She didn't even raise her voice. She was not yelling. She was not driven by her emotions. She was simply asking questions.
Right. So he took that. I don't even understand why does this seem like a safe lane for him to call out somebody and saying that they're leading by emotions, that that women. I mean, it is a direct hit on women's ability to lead, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's completely sexist. Schimmel is wrong for Wisconsin. And his comments set us back to the 1849 abortion ban, which he supports. And actually, that's what he's talking about. The Supreme Court justices were listening to a case and asking questions about the 1849 ban. And he said that they were driven by emotions and on the brink of losing it, and they absolutely were not. They were simply asking questions of the lawyers that were presenting to them, exactly what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, it's and here. But by the way, let me just say, the idea that first of all, emotions don't figure into what our lived experience is. They're just. I guess the thing is that he's saying of the women on the bench is that they're leading with emotions. Well, here's the thing. So are they. You know what I mean? Like they want to strip people of their rights because they feel they emotionally are unable to deal with women having autonomy. Don't you think?
Absolutely. And I think if they were emotional on the bench, that would have been just fine. But I watched the whole thing, and they were not. His comments were disastrous. He has a terrible record, and he was former attorney general. He didn't even process rape kits. There are thousands of untested rape kits when he was attorney general. He is bad for Wisconsin. He doesn't belong on the Supreme Court, and this is just another example of that.
Now, one of the things that I'm proud to have worked on, I mentioned Fibs for Wisconsin. We were we worked Racine, Kenosha, Walworth County. Tomorrow we're going up to door knock for Judge Susan Crawford for that Supreme Court race, as well as the superintendent of schools race, because I know that all this money is coming in. It's stupefying, really. What are you hearing from constituents in the wake of the decisions that have been made in D.C. and the Doge bags and all of those stories that have emerged as what they want to do with public service supports and the federal jobs? What are you hearing from constituents?
People are so afraid of what's going on with the chaos and confusion in D.C. There is so much unknown and so much strange things happening. We're really worried, though, too, that Elon Musk is pouring money into Brad Schimmel's campaign in the state of Wisconsin, trying to buy it because he wants that Republican on that Supreme Court so they can continue to take us back hundreds of years. Brad Schimmel wants the 1849 ban to stand. You've heard what he said about women on the bench and their emotions, and we know that he is absolutely wrong for Wisconsin. So people are looking at Donald Trump and Elon Musk and what they're doing and extremely afraid. I have farmers that are nervous. What's going to happen to their crops this year? What's going on with USAID? They have some crops right now in the fields. When they bring it out, are they going to have to? Where is it going to go? It's just been a complete mess since Donald Trump became president again.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what some people expected, but I have to believe for many people this wasn't it. And and I'm grateful for the work that a lot of folks did to make sure that you guys were able to flip this. I mean, not flip, but you flipped several seats and broke the supermajority.
We did.
Yeah. How's that?
We did.
Yeah.
It was amazing. We had 11 members at the end of last time, and so we wanted to flip 4 seats. And everyone thought, it wasn't going to happen. And we're like, no, it's going to happen. We finally have fair maps for the first time in the state of Wisconsin. We've been gerrymandered for years. We had fantastic candidates. We had one candidate knock over 19,000 doors himself in Green Bay. They were extremely hardworking. We were to flip these 4 seats. So the same night, when Donald Trump is winning and we're looking at the disaster going, every state's saying how they're voted, we're like, oh my gosh, we were getting wins. So it's like, we're like, oh, Green Bay went for our candidate or this person, but then we're finding out Pennsylvania went down. It's like all these other things. So quietly celebrating our own wins, but also devastated, of course, what happened at the top of the ticket. But Wisconsin also kept Tammy Baldwin, so thank you for your work with that as well. So thank goodness we kept our U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin working for us.
Yeah, I think one of the hard things is explaining to folks, a lot of people get surprised when they realize that they're voting for a Supreme Court justice. Like and we do the same in Illinois, but beyond the absolutely horrific legislation that they want to go back to in 1849 when it comes to women's autonomy, it's more than that too. It is the gerrymandered maps. It is, making sure people have access to the vote and public education. Talk to us a little bit about how, there's so many elements to this as to why Musk and Trump want this, right?
Absolutely. We can go back to more gerrymandered maps. They could make a decision that would take us, back to where we were, or even worse, right? They could redo them again, so we'd have to be complete chaos again of what maps are we running under now. They have, right now in front of the Supreme Court, there's an Act 10 about collective bargaining. That's in front of the Supreme Court. I'm not sure when they're going to be making those decisions. Are they going to be standing up for state workers or not? That'll be a decision that they make. Everything important in the state of Wisconsin is happening, and we have to get everybody voting for Judge Susan Crawford on April 1st, because all of the gains that we've made in the state Senate, we need to continue to make those gains, of course, in the next election, but really we're focusing on April 1st. We have to get this one right.
Now, for folks who might want to learn more about you, where did you grow up, my friend?
I grew up in the Madison area, so just about 20 minutes away from where I live now. I went to a public university. I've got a master's degree as well, and then was really called to public service on a local school board years ago, and then continued to find fun things to run for and serve my community. And
where are you in your term as state senator in Wisconsin?
I'm in the middle of the terms. We have 4-year terms, and I'm in my second. So my first term as a senator, but I was in the state assembly since 2012 until 22.
And so you're up for re-election in 26?
That is correct.
And are you? I'm not going to push you on that part, but what kind of work are you guys doing organizing as we head into some of these April 1st races?
Well, I'll tell you, it was interesting. Even after we were up all night long because some of the ballots took forever to count to the state of Wisconsin, and like a day after that November election, we were getting calls, people wanting to run against some of these Republican senators. So we are working already, recruiting, talking to people. We're in the middle of budget season, trying to hold my Republican colleagues accountable with what they will or possibly won't do, especially when it comes to education funding. So we'll see where that all lands. But right now, we're really focused on April 1st.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that people need to know as far as the public education element, because these forces have been working really hard to divert funding to the charter schools, the parochial schools, leaving a lot of counties strapped and trying to put it on the ballots. Is there a solid path forward to clawing some of that back, or at least holding the line?
Yes, I think we will, but I think we're going to need to take the majority in the next election so that we can put money back into public education. We're sitting on a $4 billion that's with $1 billion surplus right now, and the reason we're sitting on that surplus in the state of Wisconsin is because we haven't been funding our public schools like we should have been. There were more referendums for people in the state of Wisconsin in 2024 that they agreed to, up their taxes because they want to support their neighborhood schools than we've ever seen before, and it's because the Republicans refuse to fund public education in the state of Wisconsin.
Well, I'm so grateful for your time, and I encourage folks to visit Dianne for Wisconsin. It's Dianne for WI, and that's 2 N's in Dianne. So it's DIANNE for FOR. WI.com. Before we let you go, as I said, I come up there quite often. We'll be in Milwaukee tomorrow. In Madison, I have to tell you, I am obsessed with the restaurant Sardine. It's
so good.
Oh, my God.
So good. That is correct. You should be obsessed with it. It is fantastic.
So
love that place. We have so many good restaurants here.
Yeah. Well, and I was going to say Tipsy Cow for a pint and some pub food. Where are some of your other favorites if you want to share with us for people visiting? Because I think everyone should go check out your state capital. Ours is great. Yours is fantastic. Minnesota has a great one. So for folks who are visiting Madison, what other places do you send them?
Oh, love the old-fashioned downtown. That's fun. If you want to stay, go to the Tornado Room. You will never be disappointed. It's fantastic.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to talking to you again. Please reach out if you have any call to action for us. Anything you want to make sure we know about, don't hesitate. And thank you so much for your time and your perspective.
Thank you so much for having me on. Take care and have a great weekend.
Absolutely. You too. Stay hydrated.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.